This is one of the best weekends for racing. Traditionally, Moomba weekend in Melbourne with the Australian Cup and the Newmarket tomorrow, along with the Sires, and the Easter Carnival really bubbling here in Sydney with Rosehill, the build-up to the Golden Slipper. Max, a new favourite after yesterday and a pronounced favourite, General Nadim.
Yes, I think General Nadim, Bruce, is a worthy favourite. I'm not saying he's a worthy good thing, but he won in a manner yesterday. He wasn't racing against rivals, he was racing against the clock, and he came through it well. The important factor of it, though, was scope for improvement. He can do better than that. He'll want to do better than it. But the man, Mick Dittman, is confident he can. He can adapt to Golden Slipper racing, and I think that's what makes him first pick at this stage.
Good morning, by the way. You too, Keith, down in Melbourne. Keith, the Blue Diamond form, it looks like it might hold up against the Northern States form.
Yes, I think it will. Yesterday, Prince Nadim well, he made the expected the reality, didn't he? He was a 5-2 on favourite. Now, I don't know whether that win against that opposition justified him being brought into 9-4 favourite now for the Slipper, but he's pretty good, but he's going to find it tougher to win the Slipper, isn't he?
Yes, with Rose of Danehill and also Knowledge. Let's have a look at the win, and we'll talk to Mick Dittman straight after the race.
At the 600 mark, and Graham's Choice almost joined by General Nadim. In third place, Dance Beat on the outside of Accuse, followed by Special Dane and Pilfer, and Rocket to Mars last as they turn for home. Straightening up, and Mick Dittman is swinging to the General. He took a half-length lead immediately after turning the corner over Graham's Choice. Dance Beat running on, followed by Special Dane. Coming to the 200, and Mick clicks up, and General Nadim's two in front of Dance Beat and Special Dane on the outside. General Nadim is well clear. He's got further ahead now. He's three in front of Special Dane, who's running home well, followed by Dance Beat. But General Nadim leads the troops home in a canter. In the Todman, Special Dane second, Dance Beat third, followed by Accuse.
Historically, the Golden Slipper's not won by speed horses. Sure, you've got to have a turn of foot, but by horses that can take the rough and tumble and finish on strongly. Max spoke to Mick Dittman, the jockey, and asked him after the race whether General Nadim could handle that sort of an event.
Slipper, I've got no doubts about it. He's a professional racehorse, and racing behind horses won't worry him. I've had the opportunity to put him behind a couple of times, and it's just that he's had so much on his opposition that he's always been there. But if it's a cracker pass race, I think it'll play into his hands, because he relaxed beautiful and he's very strong at the finish.
So what did you think, Keith, having another look there?
Well, he really won that with authority. As we mentioned, the opposition was not tough, but you can only beat what you're racing against. Gee, I like the summary from Mick. Mick sounded and looked very confident. He's always been the potential favourite for the Slipper. I liked his form ahead of Guineas from Queensland, and he's gone right on with it. There's going to be a big effort by Bill Mitchell, and he's done so well so far, to get him to the next step, which is the big one.
So going to the line so well, he could have done better. He come home in very quick time, broke 34, and that scope for improvement, that is the key factor. I think one of the major horses will be Encounter. When he races at Rosehill next Saturday, he could well be more than a worthy rival for General Nadim.
Max, there wasn't a lot in the times between General Nadim and the fillies yesterday. Watching, it looked a pretty, almost a roughhouse race yesterday. How'd you see it on side?
Well, it was a very good race, and certainly at Rose of Danehill, she's a very competitive filly. She's a very placid filly before the race. Her own makeup makes her a worthy Slipper contender, but I just wonder about the form of this race.
She's fourth on the fence, by the way, Max.
Getting a very easy run. Stephen King has to show his pugnacity in getting out, but on the outside is All the Rage.
But this is a good sign. Have a look at this. She takes a bump, she takes another, and that's a sign of a horse that's really trying, isn't it?
Now, Ray Murray described this as good competitive riding, well within the bounds of what we can tolerate. Looked to me to be a borderliner.
No, very, very clearly good competitive riding. The only doubt I've got about the form, Keith, All the Rave, you noticed that yesterday. Well, Bobby Thompson doesn't even think she's good enough to pay up for the Golden Slipper. So I'm not taking anything away from Lee Friedman's filly, but nevertheless, I've just got a slight query on that form. I still have a slight query on the Blue Diamond form. And again, I just think Encounter, Guineas form, it might be working out okay.
What about the market? Keith was surprised General Nadim was in as short as 9-4. Lee Freeman's won the last 4 Golden Slippers in a row, and he's got Rose of Danehill and Knowledge. You saw Knowledge trial on Friday?
Went very nicely, wasn't asked to do a great deal, but what he did most impressively. I just wonder whether Knowledge can be super fit enough to win a Golden Slipper with such a break between the runs.
We'll get your tips next week from both of you, a week out. The Group 1 Coolmore Classic for fillies and mares yesterday. A 3-year-old filly started favourite, Dashing Eagle, but her great rival, successful, Assertive Lass.
600 metres out as they near the turn. Misty Dawn the leader. Assertive Lass second. Timeless Wins third, followed by Precious Glitter. 3 deep as Amber, and then Priceless Joy on the fence, followed by Hello Dale. Further back as Love Dance and Dashing Eagle, giving them a very big start. Bionic Bess and Shindigger a mile back. In the straight, Misty Dawn running a heck of a race. Assertive Lass is getting out after her now. Here's Timeless Wins down the outside, and they're clear of Priceless Joy, followed by Hello Dale. Assertive Lass went to the lead 100 metres out over Misty Dawn, followed by Timeless Wins, but Assertive Lass sent hard to the line by Di is too good and wins the Coolmore. Hello Dale got up for second.
Dashing Eagle never really in it. Assertive Lass winning. They've had some great duels. Max spoke to Gay Waterhouse after the race, and the obvious question, will it be the Doncaster 1600 or will it be the Oaks over 24?
Well, this is the $64,000 question. I just like the dust to settle, and I'll make up my mind in the next week. We've got two options. We've got the Doncaster, which one would probably think is a more suitable race, but I think it'll be a lot harder to win than the Oaks. But both races she's nominated for, both races she'll contest one of them.
A very enthusiastic group of owners.
Oh, they're fabulous, Max. Look, I love it. Well, the whole thing about owning a racehorse is that you dream of a day like today, and today, like today, did eventuate for these people. They paid $38,000. We just spectre at the sales. We like the look of it. They put their trust in me, and today it's paid rewards.
What a great character. We've said it so often for racing, Gay Waterhouse. Which way do you think she'll go? Doncaster or Oaks?
Well, if it was Tommy, he'd go for both.
Yeah, he would. On the same day.
Yeah, the point about the win yesterday, it did favour, the tempo of the race did favour horses that were up close in the Coolmore, and she was able to adapt to this. She's a very good filly. She's got the class to win the Oaks. She's got the dash and the tenacity to be competitive in the Doncaster. If she was mine, I'd go for the easy option, the Oaks.
Gay was talking dollars. That filly cost $38,000. She's won more than $500,000 and more to come, so it's been a money spinner already. If you want some dollars, personal dollars, stay with Ken Bell. Did you spot that mare getting home? She's last year's Oaks winner.
Yeah, she was a good run, wasn't she? Finishing very, very strongly. In fact, one of the people in the office backed it yesterday, so I did spot it, Keith. Kept telling me about it. Arcady won the Ranvet. This was a pretty weak field. I say weak in terms of classic weight for age. It's been absolutely overshadowed by both Juggler and Octagonal going down to Melbourne for tomorrow's Australian Cup. This is a promising horse. He's gone through the ranks. He's won the Underwood Cup, the Queen Bee Anne Cup. He gets up on the fence. Good for John Marshall because he was taken off Moorwide. Hula Flight, who Di normally rides the horse, was a good run. But these are more Sydney Cuppers rather than genuine weight for ages?
Oh, no doubt about that. Hula Flight, Di said that Hula Flight died on a run, and I would agree there. Hula Flight did appear to have Arcady covered. Arcady got a beautiful run through, but Queen Bee Anne form has never, ever been weight for age form in the past.
That's for sure. What about the tips for tomorrow? Two fantastic races in Melbourne. In fact, 3 with the size. OK, the Australian Cup. Keith, you're going with the Big O. Max, it's his last run in Melbourne.
This is a reversal of form. I thought Keith said that Octagonal wasn't the same horse in Melbourne that he is in Sydney.
Oh, well, he's a Flemington maiden, as is Juggler, Max, but I think he'll win the Australian Cup. And Melbourne are going to give him a fond farewell because we love him as much as his Sydney fans. And special arrangements have been made for Octagonal to go out in style tomorrow. OK, the Newmarket. I noticed Mahogany, you've actually put him in, Max, and you're sticking with him, Keith. I'm sticking with Mahogany, the favourite.
You haven't picked O'Reilly a place?
No, I haven't. He's going in. He's lightly raced. Bruce says we've got a guy on radio down here in Melbourne called the Golden Snipper. He uses the term show bag. I think there's no value in O'Reilly at favouritism for the Newmarket. I think he hasn't had the experience. Yeah, well, I can't argue with your reasoning, Keith. But he is a 3-year-old. They're doing very, very well. It's a prime Newmarket. I think O'Reilly can win, and I think at the odds, Istedad will keep the 2 Sydney horses very, very busy in the Australian Cup. Bruce and Max, we saw Danajaya make its debut, a much long-awaited debut at Flemington yesterday. It'll be up for the size and stick with it. It might be the best 2-year-old in the land. Obviously, that's his rave of the day. OK, that's your rave of the day. Keith, see you next week. You too, Max. Look forward to it. A break.